Good evening, everyone, and welcome to your weekly quarantine check-in with the Aussie Gamers Experience podcast. Joining me live this week is Lucas to discuss the week that was. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some more PS5 news. Nintendo says to lay off the grog. Grounded arachnophobia. I am both intrigued and terrified at that one. The Division 2, Ghost Recon, Ghosts of Tsushima, Fallout 76, and much, much more. Once again, editing Lucas from 1.5 meters away. Let's go!
This is the Aussie Gamers Experience video game podcast. This show is recorded during temperatures in summer that are too hot for dragons, and in winter, colder than my mother-in-law's heart. So join us as we discuss video games as best we can, all while dodging redback spiders, brown snakes, and all those other things that try to hurt, maim, or even kill us. But remember, all we need to do is stay alive long enough to see the release of that next awesome video game. Enjoy the show.
Thank you for tuning in to episode 295 this week. Today is Monday, the 13th of April, 2020. Welcome, Lucas. How are you, mate?
I'm very good, thank you very much. Mate, this live chat already is off tap. It normally doesn't happen until sort of at least the third quarter, yeah, because there's 3 quarters in a whole, idiot. Just like my maths last week of 40 and 40 being 80 or whatever it was. But yeah, it doesn't normally happen till the end of the show, the last part of the show. Anyway,
it's still going on in the background.
I'm doing well.
Good stuff. And that's right, the live chat is once again going crazy. So a quick g'day to Atan, Azrael, Kazakal, Lens Menos, Martikins, Radicus, Skrill, and the Wraith. Welcome, everyone. Off to the poo party. That's the way. Anything exciting going on in the world, in your world outside of gaming? How's the quarantine testing you?
No, nothing exciting at all. I've been, as we were discussing before we started the show, there's not really much different in my life. I still have to work because I'm an essential worker, and I come home and play video games. Nothing's changed. That's it. That's it. Only the small things, like I have to go to the shops myself and buy my alcohol because my wife can't go to the shops because she's like at a higher risk. So I have to do that sort of stuff. But yeah, everything else is pretty much the same for me. I don't really have a life, so fuck you, Corona. You haven't taken mine.
I found out the other day that Dan Murphy's will deliver a case of CC and Dry for $6.50.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
All right, can you do the show on your own for the next 5 minutes?
Just hold on a sec, I'll come back.
Just going to go make an order.
All right, mate, let's start it off with this week in gaming. We're going back to 2010. Splinter Cell Conviction, published and developed by Ubisoft. Now, you're a bit of a Splinter Cell fan.
A little bit.
Not something I really got into. I probably should have. I'll wait for the next one.
Yeah, keep waiting, buddy.
Yeah.
Get in line.
Get in line. Mate, tell us a bit about Conviction. We'll talk before. One of the better ones, you were saying.
Well, yeah, Splinter Cell Conviction was like a generational leap from the other Splinter Cell games. It was a big jump. It was a completely new engine, completely new graphic style, and the way they made the game was just nothing compared to the old ones. And I actually really liked it, contrary to popular opinion, or the common opinion, where there was a lot of things that people didn't like about the game. It was sort of almost cancelled to the point where they made the first half of the game and then almost scrapped it and started again. But what they eventually did is then they just rushed the second half of the game and then just pushed it out. And you can kind of tell that if you've played it. The early sections of the game have quite a few really interesting changes to the gameplay. Early on, there's a scene where you intimidating a bloke into giving you information, and you're actually in a bathroom stall, and you walk around and you smash his face into the cistern for the toilet, then you smash his face into the mirror on the wall, and you use all of the environment to which is all breaking as you're doing it, to get information out of this guy, and it was quite good. And then those cool sort of sequences really started to dry up as it got towards the end of the game, where I feel that's probably where they were then just like, okay, just finish the game, just get it done, just make levels, just simple levels like the older games, and finish the game. We need to get this game out and make money on it, which is a shame because it was really awesome. It was sort of akin to, do you remember in Uncharted 3? There's a scene where you have that fight in the bathroom with that massive dude. And
yes, yep.
Smash it. It was kind of like that. It was kind of like a Naughty Dog Uncharted sort of feel, but it sort of then drifted off. I guess those scenes probably were very expensive to develop and get right, so it sort of drifted off. Another thing that people didn't like is instead of being in the dark, because that's a big thing of the Splinter Cell games, is, shooting out light bulbs and using night vision and keeping to the shadows to stay hidden. When you were dark, so when you were in the dark and not visible, instead of in the old games where you had like a darkness meter, the screen would actually go black and white instead of just being dark. So a lot of people didn't like that because the majority of the time you're trying to be in the dark, which means the majority of the game is actually black and white. So yeah, people weren't big fans of that. I didn't really like that, but it sort of grew on me and it became part of the game, and I didn't mind it too much. Yeah,
it's an intriguing concept.
Yeah, well, it was weird. It went black and white because you were in the dark. It seems weird.
But when you go into the dark, when you have that absence of light, you don't really have colour.
No, but even the things in the background that were lit up would be black and white as well. Not necessarily just the foreground where you were. So it wasn't popular for that reason there. But as far as I'm concerned, I absolutely loved it. This is the game that introduced the takedowns, I think they were called, or I can't remember what they were called. But what you would need to do is you would have to take somebody down hand-to-hand combat. And then when you did it in hand-to-hand combat, you would get one execution move. And then if you took someone else down with hand-to-hand combat, you would get another one. And these execution moves would mean that if you had 2 execution moves in your bank, you would mark 2 enemies, and then you could literally just wait till they were in a line of sight and then just hit a kill button. And then Sam would automatically stand up and just do headshots and kill them. So it was really awesome. So if you could climb around the outside of a building, look into a window, mark 2 characters that were in there, you could bust into a room, shoot the one that wasn't marked, and then hit the kill button, and then all 3 of them would be dead in like half a second. It was amazing. You felt like an absolute machine in that game, and I loved it for it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic, and for all its flaws, I thought what it did with the gameplay was revolutionary, and I absolutely loved it. And on top of that, they made a co-op campaign that you could play through completely with a friend, and it was also really cool. Best game in the series, hands down.
Nice.
Can you see that I'm a little bit passionate about Splinter Cell?
Yeah. I'm starting to think I should have played it now.
It's still available. Get it, man. Get it on PC or get it on Xbox One. I think it's back compat on Xbox One. Yeah. I think I even got it for free on Games with Gold. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm pretty sure it is. But either way, it's available. You can get it. Yeah.
If it was Games with Gold, I've probably got it somewhere.
Yeah, you might have a look. Greg won't, because he didn't download all the free games that he wasn't interested in.
No, fair enough. Oh well. All right. G'day, Greg. Hopefully come back soon.
Miss you.
Miss you. Mate, let's jump into some game talk, shall we?
Yes, let's do it.
Some more. Some games we've been playing in the last week. We'll get the usual out of the way first, mate. Call of Duty.
Yes, we've played Call of Duty.
Played lots of Call of Duty.
Season 3's come out now.
It has.
They got rid of...
I got the Battle Pass.
Yes, very good. They got rid of... trios in Warzone and replaced it with quads, and they brought trios back, and then they changed this was last season, they changed plunder to blood money, and now they've changed it back to plunder. What are they doing?
Yes.
Do they know what they're doing?
Really know.
They're flipping a coin, aren't they? They're dead set flipping a coin.
They're listening to the masses.
And A10 looks like he's playing it as we speak. Oh well, at least
Literally
he's listening.
as we speak.
All right, go for gold, buddy.
Mate, I jumped back into the Division 2. More playing. Had a bit of a stream of it. So I'm playing my way through the Warlords of New York DLC. It's just not grabbing me. I can't explain why. It's sort of like everything's still there that I love from the first one, the mechanics, the grind, the story. But I think I'm missing that social aspect. Yeah.
Oh, like playing with someone?
Playing with someone else, yeah.
Yeah, okay. But that's an expensive expansion, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah, so...
It's pretty much the cost of another game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's up there. I think it's around the $50 mark. But yeah, look, the expansion's good, and there's a lot of game there to play. But like at the end of the day, it's just an expansion. You know, it just sort of adds on to the story. It's got same sort of mechanics that are in Manhattan is now back in New York. Oh, sorry, Washington DC. Mm-hmm. The same sort of mechanics and things that are around there in the base game, they're still there in the expansion. You know, but you're in New York now. The setting looks absolutely brilliant, but it kind of feels like. Do you remember towards the end of the original Division? And I took you back in a few times. How there was a bit of verticality between it, so you could go up and down buildings, across rooftops, things like that. Mm-hmm. It kind of feels like it's gone back to how the Division was in the beginning, where it's just, you know, these roadways. Yes, you can go down into sewers, but you can't really go into buildings.
Okay.
So it kind of loses that section of it as well. But the grinds there, the tweaking, I haven't even bothered trying to figure out what the new meta is now. So it's just kind of a game that jumping in, playing a bit of the story. I'll jump on when people in the clan are on and want some more people to run, but actually putting in the big hardcore hours, I think I'm past it now, which I'm kind of okay with.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty more to move on to. I played a little bit of it last week. I haven't gone back to it yet, mainly for lack of time and spoiled for choice as well. I've been playing other things, but I don't know. I guess one day I probably will get through the story, but that's all I really want to do.
Yeah, it is worth it. It's well worth it. Well, mate, while we're talking about these sorts of games, Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Yeah, well,
So you picked that up on PC, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. It's on sale. It was on sale on PC. I think it still is on consoles for about $30. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to pick it up and have a go, see how it goes. And look, so far it feels pretty much the same as Wildlands. They've talked about all these different things with, you know, hunger and injuries and things like that. Now, the game automatically put me on easy, which I didn't realise at first, and I don't mind so much to start off with. But with it on easy, you don't really notice anything different. You go and eat at a bivouac, which is like a camp, a little bonfire thing, and you can, you know, heal up, because if you run around for a while, your stamina won't recover fully, so you won't be able to run as fast or something, I don't know. But it's not really that obvious on the easy settings. But, you know, there's a few other mechanics in there, like rolling around in the mud to get cover, but once again, most of the time, I was playing it with the Wraith, most of the time we sort of just would run in anyway and just shoot everything, so cloaking ourselves in mud sort of seemed pointless, because somebody covered in mud is pretty visible when they're just opening fire constantly at everything.
Yes.
But I like it. I think it's good. I think it's been enough time now between Wildlands for me to get it back into something like that. So we had good fun with it. It was a little bit of a pain in the ass trying to join each other, but we got it working in the end there. And it's not a bad game. It looks good, plays good. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll hear more as you get more into it.
So that was a point I'm going to bring up, which is probably going to come up later in the news as well. There's an option in it where you can be completely guided, like a typical game and like Wildlands, where you've got objective markers. But you can also set it to have no objective markers and instead of giving you like a point on the map where your objective is, it'll give you like a region. And there will be hints and clues. Yeah, and there'll be hints and clues as to where you'll need to go, but it doesn't just hold your hand in exactly where you need to go. And I like how you can just switch that on and off, because, there might be times where I feel like just trying to work it out myself. But then there's times where I'm just like, I just want to get this done. I just want to go to the objective, do it, and, get on with my business. But yeah, actually, I really appreciate that setting. I don't think it's, I didn't play it when it first came out, but talking about it now, I don't think it's worthy of the criticism that it did get. I think it's actually a really good game.
Yeah, cool. I was worried about it when it came out. To be honest with you, through no actual digging of my own, but it was more just, the backlash, I suppose. And that's what sort of turned me away from it. And plus, I was playing Division, so I didn't want another one like it.
Yeah, but no, look, I like it. There's a lot of games there that I've only just bought Division 2 on PC, started that again. I've started Breakpoint now. I've got Call of Duty in the back of my mind all the time. I'm spoilt for choice, I guess, and still, I still sit at my desk going, what should I play?
Yeah. We're gonna start just flicking a coin every night.
Yeah.
All right, mate. I had a bit of a crack with Resident Evil Resistance.
Oh, the multiplayer.
The Resident Evil multiplayer.
Okay, how'd that go?
Wow, that is weird. Weird in a kind of cool way. I didn't play that many games because, again, I haven't been. Time's been a bit of an issue this week. But actually getting on, having a crack at this. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to play with a team yet, or with anyone, chatting or anything. It's all just been very one way. But what it is you're a group of 4 survivors and 1 mastermind, they're called. So the 4 survivors are let loose in a umbrella facility, and you've got the mastermind who's watching over and placing objects in the way. So whether those objects be, a trap, or zombies, or a major, like a boss sort of thing.
Is that a human-controlled player?
Yes.
Oh, so the human-controlled player, because it's an asymmetric game, isn't it, where it's like 4v1, yeah?
Yeah.
And so the one is an overseer, so you're not actually live on the ground, you're controlling shit.
You're an overseer. Yeah, you're an overseer.
I kind of like the sound of that.
I think you can take control. I haven't been put into the mastermind role yet, but every now and again you'll see a zombie that's really OP, which will have a name above its head.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that, they come in, they can jump in as a player. Okay. And yeah, it's really quite difficult. I haven't gotten very far at all in it. The people I've been playing with seem to drop very quick and very easily. But so far it's been a bit of fun. I wouldn't mind seeing who else has got it and actually jumping in with the chat party and having a crack.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I don't know if I'd spend much time on it, but it sounds interesting enough to try. You have to buy the game, don't you, though, Resident Evil 3? Because I know it's a separate download, isn't it?
No, I think Resistance is actually free to play.
Oh, okay. Yep, cool. That was going to be my next question, because I know it's a separate download, but yeah, I wasn't sure if you had to buy Resident Evil 3 to play it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's available as free to play yet, or if people who bought Resident Evil get it for a certain amount of time.
Ah, right. Maybe someone in our live chat can check for us.
Yeah, that could be why it took me forever. Like, you'd be waiting 3 or 4 minutes for, like, I know it's not long in the grand scheme of things, but still you're sitting there watching a timer go past for 3 minutes.
Oh, that's
before other people drop in.
Yeah, that's a long time to wait for a multiplayer match.
Yeah. So they've got that sort of thing. I don't think a lot of people are playing it, but it's good fun, and I wouldn't mind getting in with others. So if anyone's listening and would like to have a crack with me, hit us up. We'll get into it. Last game that we've got in our list, mate. We Went Back. You want to tell us about We Went Back?
Oh, the game. I thought you were telling a story about when we went back somewhere. I'm like, where'd we go, dude? Oh, right, the game. The game is called We Went Back, yes.
Yes.
I downloaded this game on Steam. It popped up and it was free to play. So I thought, I'm going to give this game a go, and I forgot all about it. And then just the other night, it was probably about 2 o'clock in the morning. Everyone had gone to bed, and I was still wide awake from night shifts. And I thought, look, I'll give this game a go. So I booted it up, and surprising for a free-to-play game, it's actually quite aesthetically pleasing. The graphics are really cool. Now, this game is kind of like a mixture between Alien Isolation and PT, the playable teaser there for that Silent Hill game. Because it's kind of on a bit of a loop where you're on this ship, which I guess is a bit of like a circular shape, and you walk around and around in circles until you actually activate certain things by finding items of interest and taking photos of them. And you're being stalked by this, like, disgusting, lanky, sort of Slender Man-looking thing with no skin on it. It's just all bone and sinew sort of thing. And it jumps out in front of you, and you can actually die. Like, if it jumps out and grabs you, because you haven't done the right things in the game, you'll just respawn and start again, sort of thing. If you do everything first go pretty easily, it might take you 20 minutes, half an hour to finish it, which is probably generally what everyone would do to. Oh my god! Can you guys hear those dogs? I can. They are out of control. That's the next door neighbour's dogs. I had to yell at it earlier today to shut the hell up while I was outside. I hate my neighbours. But anyway,
Leo.
It's a really... What kind of dogs are they? Big, fucking annoying dogs. And
dead ones very soon.
I hate them because they dig underneath the fence and they've actually injured my dogs. Because my dog obviously sticks its head under there going, oh, what's this? And then gets attacked from the dickhead next door. But I don't know what they are. They're massive things. No, I'm not going to throw my dog over, but if my dog was bigger, I probably would. But it's not. It's bigger than my dog. But yeah, anyway, back to We Went Back. It's absolutely worth playing. It's on Steam. It's free to play. If you've got a computer that's slightly better than a potato, it should be okay to play. And it's for 20 minutes of intrigue. And at the end, it's kind of got one of those endings where it leaves you thinking, you going to leave it there? What the fuck happened? But then at the same time, it almost explains what happened. And you're like, oh, I think that's what's happened. It was kind of like that. But I actually really liked it. I thought it was good for a free indie little experience. Check it out. Might cost you a thing.
And I can second to check it out. I haven't played it yet. I downloaded it after we were talking about it last night. And but I watched a YouTuber by the name of Delirious play it.
Okay.
And I enjoy watching him because he's just a lunatic and just very over the top with sort of his commentary and the way that he does things. He's very extroverted. And just when I was watching him play this and the shit jumped out at him, it was just hysterical. So it was well good watching as well. But I'll be giving it a crack. Good stuff. Well, mate, I think that's it for games this week. It's been a bit of a slower week. I've played a whole lot of little bits and pieces, played some games with the kids, played some Minecraft with the kids this week, but overall it's just been, what can we blow up?
I'll give you no points if you can pick one particular game that I didn't play this week again.
A certain game where there's, I believe, crossing of bridges or crossing of animals.
Crossing of animals would be more correct, yeah, because I think you can have bridges, but I don't have bridges yet. Animal Crossing. I still look at my Switch and go, I really should give that a go, and I haven't. I don't know what it is. Yeah. I don't dislike the game. I actually like it. It's just slow. So I'm just like, I want to get to the cool stuff, but it's going to take a really long time. So I don't.
Yep.
Now, oh well.
Good stuff. All right, mate. On to some news for the week.
Yes.
I'm going to jump ahead here, and the PS5 has been released, and it looks amazing. Now, have you seen this yet?
Hang on, what?
You haven't seen it?
The PlayStation 5?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
Are you joking?
That's probably because it hasn't been released yet, because the last, 5 weeks, we've recorded our show on Monday night, and then Tuesday or Wednesday something happened.
So you're just preempting tomorrow when they release
I'm preempting.
That's gold.
So I'm just getting in front of it. So, yes, it looks amazing.
You are fucking spot on. That has happened for the last,
and you're listening on Sunday. That's brilliant. Just know that I picked it.
That's gold. It'll be released tomorrow. We'll wake up tomorrow and there'll be posts everywhere. Oh dear, that's gold. That is really good. the way it works. Oh dear.
But it's always it's been the way the past few weeks. It's sort of like, yes, we've done the podcast. It's great. We've got all the news. Oh, you're shitting me, aren't you? Oh no, this. So I'm just screw it. We're jumping ahead.
Yeah, it looks great.
And Wraith, yes, that's true. But mate, the DualSense has been released.
Well, just quickly one
controller.
thing. Just quickly one thing about the design of the PlayStation 5 that's just been released this week is don't you think that bit towards the back in the middle kind of looks like a cock and balls?
Yes, they're just swinging their dick.
What was with that design? Anyway, we'll talk about that more later.
We'll follow up next week.
Yeah.
Mate, the DualSense PS5 controller has come out, and that, I do have to say, does look quite sexy. I like it.
Yeah, I think it looks good, but God, there's been some stupid comments coming out of social medias. Not that I should be surprised by that, really, but just the criticism that it has got. There's not even any basis for it. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway.
I read something today about it, which I make no denying that I am a PS fanboy. That's fine, but I enjoy my gaming wherever I play it, and I don't go out of my way to belittle anything else. But when you read something on social media from someone who probably used to be more of a big deal than he is now, but them writing there that the PS5 DualSense controller looks like a retarded Xbox controller. Sony, why are you tanking this generation?
Oh, that wasn't Boogie, was it?
It was.
Oh, just when you said is not as relevant today as he was once upon a time. That's the first person I thought of. He's fallen from grace, but yeah. Is that what he said? Looks like a retarded Xbox controller. Yeah,
something along those lines. Yeah, okay. It was one of those things that I sort of half read it and just went. It's like, and literally said, yeah, like, Sony, why are you tanking the next generation? Like, oh, God.
You know what the DualSense looks like to me?
What?
It looks like a next generation PlayStation controller. That's exactly what that looks like.
Exactly to me.
Yeah, and people that are complaining about the two-tone colour, have a look at the controllers we have now. There's a whole shit ton of different colours. That's not going to be the only one. And plus,
I like it.
But the thing is, I've had Xbox people, like, on Twitter, they're going on about, I give that controller a week before it's all grimy and disgusting. Hang on a minute. Xbox have a white controller because I bought a white Xbox One S because I think the One S only came out in white when it first came out.
That is correct.
A whole all white controller.
Yep.
And I've had that.
I'm sorry, but if you're old enough to use Twitter, why the hell are your hands grimy and covered in shit while you're playing video games?
Well, to the point where it's going to take a week to be disgusting. Like, albeit, like, you look at my controller, it's probably a couple of years old now. If you look really closely, yeah, there's probably a little bit of dirt in the corners, but nothing major. But if it's that big of a problem, clean it.
Exactly. There were so many people putting up pictures of, like, Cheeto-encrusted fingerprints.
Yeah, but that's going to happen to any of your controllers. But if
that's how grotty you are, that's fine.
As for the DualSense, I actually think it looks very futuristic and sci-fi-ish, and I actually really like that design. There was a few things that I wasn't quite sure about and hasn't really been cleared up, is the lack of that light bar. On the front. Yeah. Now, look, I know Sony has said that the PlayStation VR is going to be compatible with PlayStation 5, but I don't know exactly how that's going to work, because if you use a DualShock 4 controller, it needs to see the light bar to track the relative space of where your controller is, using also the 6-axis inside it. So I'm not sure if they've managed with software to do away with the light bar and it can just do everything based on the sensors that are in this controller to overtake that light bar, because it still has the light bar on the front, which is probably a better place for it, because then you can see, like, use it for health and all that without having to stick your head over the top of the controller. But that's one thing that I'm just not sure about. Neither here nor there. If they can get rid of it, I'm glad, because, yeah, when you're playing a game and it reflects off the TV, that sucks. So if they've gotten rid of it and doesn't need it, then that's fantastic. But then there are other things that people are complaining about, and people are bringing up concerns back with the Xbox Connect came out because it was always listening. There were privacy concerns. And people are now saying that this is, well, how come nobody's complaining about the DualSense having a microphone in it? Because that's always going to be listening. I just think that these people just breed controversy out of nothing, just out of thin air. Because if you are that paranoid that you're being listened to, then I would probably suggest you get rid of your mobile phone, because there's a chance that that's listening, because that has a microphone in it as well. You might want to get rid of your Google thingy at home. What else has a microphone? My remote control for my smart TV has a microphone in it. There are just so many things that have microphones, but do you know what most of these things have in common? You can fucking turn them off.
Yep.
And that was exactly the same story with the Kinect. If you didn't like it, you turned off. You can turn off the listening feature. You'll most likely be able to do the exact same thing with the DualSense controller. Turn off the microphone. And people will also...
Well, PlayStation camera's got a microphone.
Yeah, but you can mute that in the settings.
Mute it off, yeah.
People are also complaining about, oh, great, now we're just going to hear a whole heap of garbage in game chat of people eating chips, babies crying. Well, here's a reality check for you. That's already the fucking case. We're already listening to that shit. And you know what we do? We mute them. Or we go into a chat party. All these stupid things. It's all rubbish. Why did I even bring it up? I'm angry now.
Haptic feedback.
Haptic feedback.
Of course, we knew about haptic feedback a little while ago. They were sprouting out for quite some time now. I'm interested to see how that works. To actually get a hold of it and play with it.
I figured you might have some sort of interest like that, so I did some research. I Googled today, what the fuck is haptic feedback? Because I've got it in other things, but I didn't really understand it. And I got a bit of an explanation from some PlayStation Access video, and it still didn't really clear it up, but their explanation was essentially with the DualShock you have on and off and different speeds for two different sized motors. So you've got the big heavy vibration and you've got the smaller one sort of vibration. With haptic, it is more of a analog of how heavy or slight the vibration is, as opposed to small vibrations, big vibrations that are either faster or slower. The haptic will be more of a gradual scale, so to speak, of vibration, and it can also be omnidirectional in the controller. So instead of just sort of being left side, right side, it can bias to front of the controller, back of the controller, left and right, and all varying strengths of vibration. So look, haptic feedback is the way of the future. It's pretty much what our phones use instead of a vibration engine now. And also the Joy-Cons, Nintendo have called it their own HD rumble. It's haptic feedback. That's what it is. But yeah, so that's what it is coming to the new controller, and I think it's good.
So it's also got adaptive triggers and a rechargeable battery via USB-C now.
Yeah.
I would dare say that USB-C is because of the European Union requiring everything that goes into Europe to be USB-C.
It probably is a bit to do with that, but I would argue that it's the best connector that is around.
It's pretty much the pinnacle for connections now.
And it has its benefits above what I love USB-C for, but the main reason that I love it is that you can put it in either way. How annoying is it using a micro SD and you're like, which micro USB, and you look at it going, which way does that go? That goes that way? Yep. All right, beautiful.
Yep. Got that right. Yep, cool.
And not to mention USB Type A, which is the other end that goes into your computer. That goes in one of three ways.
I still fight them.
Did you notice that?
What?
The USB into your computer. It goes in only one of three different ways. And that's annoying. So you put it in the first time, it doesn't fit. You turn it around and it doesn't fit. And then you turn it around the other way again, same as the first time, and then it goes in. So that
fits then.
The more connectors that we can make go in either way, the better. So I'm loving it for that reason, and I'm hoping that everything goes that way, including head up their ass Apple. So yeah, USB-C all the way. Thank you.
Sounds good. All right, mate.
Oh, they also got rid of they hammed this up a little bit, didn't they? Causing a little bit of controversy by saying, "Oh, we got rid of the share button." No, you didn't.
Yes.
You tilted
create button.
You tilted it to the left and called it a create button. But did you see the meme which said that there was a meme out there saying that they created the honk button. So I'm happy to call this the honk button for the rest of its life, because if you have a look at the create button, it's got 3 diagonal lines coming off it, which looks strikingly similar to the lines that come out of the goose's beak when you press the honk button.
Oh, yes.
Untitled Goose Game.
Oh, I never even looked at that. Yep.
It's the honk button.
Okay, brilliant. It's the honk button. I'll pay that. I'll take it. Yep, there we go. It's a big close-up of it. Nice.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But look, yeah, overall, actually, the photos they released didn't show a headphone jack, but Sony have confirmed it does have a headphone jack. A 3.5mm headphone jack will be included, which is nice to know.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've used one.
A headphone jack?
For the headphones. For the controller, yeah.
Yeah, same. I don't really use them, but it's really good to know it's there. It's handy. But it doesn't need to be waterproof, so it's great.
True. Good stuff. All right, mate. Nintendo.
What's with Nintendo?
Nintendo.
What have they done now?
Nintendo has told us to lay off the grog.
Eat a dick, Nintendo.
So what this is specifically aimed at is a lot of people have been hitting up, frequently asked question pages and whatnot on why are their Joy-Cons crumbling. Like the finishes on the Joy-Cons have actually been starting to peel away and just go absolutely ratty. Now, the reason for that is, with everything that's going on, the global pandemic, people are cleaning their Joy-Cons and whatnot a lot more, and they're using alcohol-based wipes or alcohol-based spray or anything like that. So apparently the finish on the Joy-Cons, I've never had an issue with it, but the finish is quite fickle, and these people that are using these cleaners to do it is actually stripping it away.
Yeah, well, look, there's been problems in the past with other adhesives damaging them. Have you heard of, what's it called, D-Brand?
Yeah.
Have you heard of them? D-Brand, they make the skins for mobile phones and consoles and things like that. Well, they had to delay their launch for their Nintendo Switch range because the adhesive that they use on everything was damaging the plastic on the Joy-Cons. So they eventually came up with a formula that wasn't damaging them, so they released it. But yeah, it sounds to me that the plastic that they're using is, quite vulnerable to, life by the sounds of things. So this isn't a surprise that, people cleaning them with alcohol wipes is probably going to damage them. But at the same time, I don't think I've ever wiped down my Nintendo Switch. Nobody else is using them. I am.
That's exactly right. With you and me in particular, no one else is really using them but our family.
Yeah.
But if you've got people that have got roommates or friends coming over and all that sort of crap, but so the official word from the CDC is to clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces daily. So cables, doorknobs, light switch, countertops, blah 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 blah.
Did you say cables?
Countertops.
Oh, tables. You said tables as in dinner table. I thought you said cables. I'm like, what? What are you touching them constantly for? Weirdo. You just get into your room and just go, oh, my beautiful HDMI.
Kind of a play with it. The official word from Nintendo, for cleaning purposes, please use a soft, dry cloth.
Good faith and hopes and dreams.
And where I read this information today, which is advice that you should definitely ignore if you're worried that your Switch might be contaminated.
Stupid.
Mate, grounded arachnophobia.
Yeah, do you have any idea what that's about? Because that's all I gave you.
Nothing.
Okay.
That's all you gave me, grounded arachnophobia, so I'm thinking spiders on the ground.
Yeah, well, look, do you know the game Grounded?
ringing a bell, but I can't picture it.
Grounded is that Honey, I Shrunk the Kids game from Obsidian.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so they have big-ass spiders, because the game is essentially a survival game where you're miniature, and if you're our vintage, or slightly younger, or even older, you'll know of the movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and these kids get shrunk down and basically have to survive an actual household and backyard. And as you could imagine, if you were tiny, a spider would be actually really, really big. And this game, Grounded, has a lot of spiders in it, and they are huge. And there's a gif in the chat there of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and they're helping out a poor sick little ant. Now, what Obsidian are going to be doing is including an arachnophobia mode. And they haven't given away exactly what arachnophobia mode will do, but my guess would be that they'll remove the spiders from the game. And there's been a suggestion that it's very unlikely that they'll just remove the spiders, because there's apparently some boss battles that are spiders, and it'll be a significant chunk of the game. But what I reckon they're probably going to do is just maybe remove the spiders from the game and maybe, I don't know, probably replace them with cockroaches or something. But specifically for people that suffer from arachnophobia, which there's the report that I've got this from has suggested that arachnophobia is the world's most, the most suffered from phobia. And I can probably attest to that. Although I wouldn't exactly call myself arachnophobic, but I fucking hate spiders. I definitely don't like them. That's for sure. But yeah, for people that just can't handle them at all, even if they're in a video game, you can switch them off and have something a little bit friendlier. And I just thought that was very interesting, because I've never heard of such a thing in a game. But that's a good way of not cutting out part of your audience, because if people see that and they have arachnophobia, they're like, well, we'll see ya, moving on. But yeah, there's an actual mode to help that out. So there's, I guess there's some other, oh my god. That gif in the chat, or that picture in the chat. That's disgusting. Did you read it? What it says?
Yeah. I'm not looking at it. Not looking. I've read it. I know what it says. It's not good.
Right.
Threw you off your run, didn't it?
Yes. Well, if they were implementing that into some other games, maybe like Dark Souls could have like a losing phobia, and maybe just remove all of the bosses completely. Maybe replace them with teddy bears. That might not be so bad. But yeah, this is the first time I've ever seen this of any game. It may have been done before, but it's the first time I've seen it. This could be akin to skipping No Russian, maybe. I don't know. But it's interesting little take on that. And I'm actually really keen on this game. It looks absolutely awesome. I love seeing normal environments, like just a backyard, but from a different perspective. So being shrunken down, blades of grass makes it look like a jungle and stuff like that. I really like that. I'm keen on this game. Yeah. So I can't wait for it to get released.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it too. It's not too far away, I believe, as well.
I don't know. Does it have a release date?
June or something? It's coming to Game Pass. I know that much.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's even better.
Yes. So it's an Xbox exclusive, being that it's from Obsidian. It's got a whole lot of different features to it as well that I was looking at. It's not only does it have obviously the shrunk down, but there's kind of a reason. So part of the story is there's base building, and you can find another base that's there and try and work out why it's there, how it got there, who's doing it, that sort of thing. It does have a very Fallout sort of vibe, like gameplay wise, not so much the setting, but it's Obsidian, so. There's a good reason for that, I suppose.
Nice.
Speaking of Fallout 76.
Oh, here we go.
So Fallout 76, I will have streamed it, and depending on how that stream goes, I may do it again. The big update that's being talked about, I think we first spoke about it probably 3 months ago, maybe even longer.
I think either you or Greg referred to it as Fallout 76 Next.
Yes, something like that. It's a big update where they're adding NPCs and kind of like that the first year that the game was live, it was all people going back out into the world and repopulating it. This update's kind of the next step. It's called the Wastelanders update. It comes on April the 14th. It is a free update for everyone that has got Fallout 76, and NPCs, new companions, an actual main quest, and there's a whole lot of tweaks that are going into it as well. So I don't have a whole lot of information because all that's been released at the moment is, the base release video.
Yeah.
I have been in contact with Bethesda about it, and as soon as any more information comes to light, they're going to let me know. But it comes out tomorrow.
Well, yeah, that's the launch date for the Steam release, because up until now you couldn't actually get Fallout 76 on Steam. It's been like exclusive to their own launcher or something. But yeah, tomorrow it comes out on Steam. So that's hence the, what's it called? Wasteland or something?
Yeah, Wastelands.
Yeah. So the only thing is, look, if it was $20, I probably might have got it on the PC. But they're asking $55 for something that is essentially a flop.
Yes.
It has received nothing but complaints and issues and all of that. And then I've seen it on shelves for $10 and things like that. It's a bit of a joke, but then they're asking $55. Yeah, look, this update might make it what it probably should have been on day one, but I think the pain and the damage has been done. If you want people to jump in, I think that's going to need to be a little bit cheaper, buddy. Come on, Todd. You're supposed to be like all-knowing and all-impressive and you can do no wrong. Well, fuck off, dude. You did wrong by your fans. But,
yes.
I don't know. Time will tell. We'll see if it's any good. We'll tell you if it's good if we think so. And if it's good, well...
If it's good, then we'll let you know. If it's bad, we'll let you know.
We'll definitely let you know as well.
Yes. All right, mate. That's the last bit of news for me. For yourself, some Ghosts of Tsushima.
Tsushima, yeah. Look, this was a late entry. This was only just like an hour before the show. I received a little notification with some information about Ghosts of Tsushima. Now, this is the PlayStation exclusive, set in Japan, feudal Japan, I believe it is. And everyone's sort of crying out because this game looks amazing. Last week we got a notification saying that it's on track for release and shouldn't be delayed by the coronavirus, and I actually retweeted or replied to the tweet saying, you know, it's pretty easy to be confident about your release date when you don't fucking have one. Oh yeah, it's coming out on time, whenever the fuck that is. G'day guys, Editing Lucas here, and unlike podcast Lucas or past Lucas, I've done a little bit of a Google on the release date of Ghosts of Tsushima, and it says the 26th of June 2020, so I guess there is a release date. You're an idiot, past Lucas. Back to the show. So,
hey, I got confirmation that there was that The Last of Us was still on track.
Nah,
a week later.
Nah, that's bullshit. It'll be later than May, but I think it won't be as late as people might be thinking. It'll still be this year, I'd say. But anyway, the main point for Ghost of Tsushima here is they've given a little bit away about the game, and as I mentioned earlier in the show when I was talking about Breakpoint, with the no waypoints. Now, Ghosts of Tsushima won't have any waypoints either. They will make you navigate the game by using outstanding landmarks. And apparently the game's been specifically designed to have very obvious landmarks in the distance or wherever you need to go. And there might be suggestions on, you know, you have to go to the X temple or something like that. And you'll look across and there'll be a temple shaped like a letter X. I don't know. That was just an example. I have no idea. But yeah, apparently the landmarks are actually very pronounced, and that's how you'll find your way. And what they want players to do is play the game and get familiar with the layout of the land so they know where they're going, and that's how you'll navigate. There won't be any waypoint markers. Now, that's a good thing. However, it can be very frustrating if it's not maybe as obvious as everybody else thinks. Some people might struggle with that. So I don't know if that's going to be a setting, but they've said that's how it's going to be. I like that idea, but yeah, could be bad, could be good sort of thing. But I'm really looking forward to that game. I'm also thinking, how big is this? It looks like an open world. I assume it's an open world, but how big is this going to be if they want you to become familiar with all of it? Like, it can't be too big, surely, with like massive mountains. Because if you think about Skyrim's huge, but there's massive mountains in the middle and stuff that you can't see around. So if what you're looking for is on the other side of a mountain, how the hell are you going to know it's there? Obviously, they'll think of that, but there are some concerns there. But I don't know. Sounds interesting, and it's a little bit something extra about a game that we're excited for that we have little
something
information.
A bit different.
Yeah.
Because like one thing, and Skyrim's a perfect example. You get to a point in Skyrim where you do know where things are. You know where you start talking to a character or an NPC or something, and they're talking about certain things that's happening in your quest, and you know where you need to go before the actual marker comes up. So it's not something we're not used to. We're just that final mechanic of not putting the marker there, you having to look for it. I think that's going to actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, I welcome it. I think it'd be good for a little bit of a change, but at the same time, still a little bit unsure and cautious.
Yeah, one thing about Ghosts, I was looking through just information today about doing the show and some news tonight, and something come up that I call into question, people's probably journalistic credibility.
Right.
And I know clicks, I know bait and stuff like that. That's what gets clicks. And, we've all fallen victim to it. Hell, we've all done it, to some varying degrees. But this one that I read, and it might have just been the news that you just spoke about, but it had, spoiler alert, full details of Ghosts of Tsushima storyline leaked.
Right.
And I saw that, and I, because I want to play the story. I don't want it spoiled for me beforehand. So I just ignored it. But the fact that was still there, like, where do people, if they've actually gone and found this leak or had someone talk to them about it and then gone and put it out, and this place that it was linking to was someone who does specifically PlayStation news, to have that go out and effectively, ruin the story of a game, I think that's a bit rich.
Yeah.
But I didn't read it, so it could have been bullshit, but I still think it's a bit rich to do that.
Yeah, probably. Well, I think the chat thinks it is bullshit.
Yeah, well, that's good. That sounds like a plan to me. Any other news, mate?
No, that was it. That was my last little gem.
That was it. All right, well, let's jump into some last words. Any shout-outs this week, good sir?
Well, I'll just say no. Because I always forget about this segment.
No, that's all right. Well, mate, I've got my usual shout-outs for 18, Kaz, Lensmanos, Radicus, Skrill, and the Wraith. And Martikins was in there before as well, but I think he was having troubles with his computer or something. Anyway, thanks for listening along, guys, and for keeping us amused as always. That's it. Any other last words? Nothing to finish it off?
Oh, how good is the weather been? It's been pretty good weather, hasn't it?
It's been nice.
Oh, actually, I got something. I'll tell you about something. I watched a movie last night with my wife and daughter. Yeah, I thought, it's we've all been stuck inside. Let's have a little bit of family time and watch a movie together. So I went through the Xbox store and found that the new Terminator movie had released. So I thought, what a better what movie out there is better for a family affair? So we watched the new one, Dark Fate. I thought everybody that I've seen talk about it said that it was shit.
I enjoyed
You've seen it? You've seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was good. I thought it was fantastic. It was a James Cameron movie as well. I didn't realise that he'd reprised his role as director, I think he was. And I was actually really impressed with the fight scenes. There was one thing that I thought was really letting it down, and it was absolutely horrible. Can you think of one thing that was probably the worst out of the lot of it?
No. I saw it at the movie, so I haven't seen it since.
Well, Skrill's saying no titties. There wasn't. Was there much in the previous ones? I don't know. There was side boob and some bare bum, which was pretty nice. Radicus, the sexist prick, has said female baddie. I don't even think that's accurate. You're thinking of the Emilia Clarke. You're talking about the wrong movie. That's the one before the latest one. Emilia Clarke isn't in this one.
Even Nuggetbot's heard and he's questioning it.
Yeah. You're talking about the wrong movie. The baddie in this one is a dude, and Emilia Clarke is not in it. However, the worst part that I didn't like about the movie is Linda Hamilton. I think that's her name. Sarah Connor?
Sarah Connor.
She can't fucking act to save her life. Every single every single line that came out of her mouth sounded so cheesy with the way that she delivered it. Even Arnie, who's in it, even he sounded good. But Linda Hamilton, she can't act for shit, man. The only reason she was good back in the day is because she just had to act scared in the first movie. Arguably, she was actually pretty good in the second one, but I don't think she's acted a day in her life since Judgment Day, and that's shown because she's like 100 now, and she can't act. She was so bad. It was really, really horrible. But yeah, she only got the role because she was in the early ones. She clearly didn't have to do an audition to get this role. But everything else in the movie I thought was fantastic. Arnie was amazing. Absolutely amazing. What is he, in his 70s now?
Yep.
Fuck, he was
Something
good.
like that, yeah.
He was good. But yeah, look, good movie. Good movie. I reckon you guys should watch it. I actually really liked. I don't know who she is. I've never seen her in anything before. Noticed her, but the protector that comes back to protect the person that she's protecting.
I like how they do that.
She's what? Sorry.
I like how she plays the role. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked her. I thought she was good, and overall good movie. But yeah, that's my little movie review for Last Words.
Awesome. Well, other last words from me. Don't forget, while you're floating around the interwebs, to hit up Aussie Gamers TV and Snooger Vision over on Twitch, and check out Grejio XBL on Instagram.
Send him a message. Make sure he's okay. Say hi to him.
Send him one. Say good day. All right, mate. We done? Close it up for the night?
Yep,
for the week? All that jazz? All right. Thank you very much to everyone that has listened to the show, and especially those that are still listening this far along. Don't forget to continue any of the topics we've discussed on the show over on our Discord channel. And while you're at it, hit up our website, www.theagexp.com. Links, as always, are in the podcast show notes and descriptions, wherever you may find them. That's all from me. As always, I have been Snoogs.
And I've been Lucas.
See yous.
Bye-bye, dude.
Well, that's the end of another show. And if you're still listening to this part of the show, then know this: we love you. Come and join our exclusive Agents of Age group on Discord using the link in the description. Just join the server and say hi, quoting "May the Age be with you," and you will be added as an Agent of Age. Subscribe to this podcast using the links that are in the description for your convenience. Thanks again, we love you lots. See you next time on the official podcast of the Aussie Gamers Experience.